You see this rock? If this wasn't your path, you wouldn't argue with this rock. You wouldn't ask it why it's there. You wouldn't negotiate with it. You just walk around it. That's exactly how I treat difficult people. I treat difficult people like rocks. Not obstacles, just objects I walk around. And when you learn this, your entire life gets quieter. I used to let difficult people own my entire emotional landscape. One rude customer, one disrespectful manager, one friend who betrayed me, and suddenly my whole day was gone. Not because of what happened, but because I gave them space in my mind. I would replay the conversation for hours. I'd lose sleep. I'd lose focus. As an entrepreneur, that means I'd lose money too. Then I found something in the writings of Epictetus, one of the Stoics. Shout out to the Stoics. Epictetus said something simple yet so brutal. If someone can provoke you, understand that your mind is complicit. It wasn't the people, it was the space I gave them. So I built a philosophy around it, a personal operating system. I call it the rock philosophy. And it turned me into someone who moves through life with more control, clarity, and ridiculous efficiency. Yes. Today, I'm going to teach you how to treat difficult people like rocks. Not because it sounds wise, but because this mindset will save you thousands of hours of wasted emotional energy. Let's get into it. If you're new here, I'm Adele. I've been an entrepreneur for 21 years, since I was 16 years old. I've started 7 businesses, 5 failed and 2 are thriving today. But before the success, I wasted so many years letting difficult people derail my momentum. Managers who went out of their way to belittle me, customers who treated me like a punching bag, friends who smiled in my face and stole behind my back. Yes, business partners who scammed me. For a long time, I thought the solution was to fight back, to defend myself, to correct the narrative. But in business and in life, the biggest waste of energy is trying to correct people who gain power from being difficult. So I created the rock philosophy. And in this video, I'll break it down step by step with real stories, stoic principles, and practical strategies. By the end of this video, you will know how to eliminate emotional leakage, build stronger boundaries, and protect your entrepreneurial focus. Part 1. My £250 a week manager. Let me take you back to the moment this philosophy was born. Even though I hadn't recognized it at the time, I was around 22 years old. I was working in the finance department of a government agency. I was earning £250 a week. I think that's around $300. At that age, it felt like real money. I felt like I'd hit the jackpot. But there was my manager, middle-aged, sharp-tongued, and consistently, almost enthusiastically critical. She didn't like my confidence at all. She didn't like the way I dressed. She didn't like the way I walked into the room. Every single morning without fail, she would find something to pick at. Today it might be my hair, tomorrow my shoes, the day after my voice, sometimes my posture. God. Not my work. It was never my work. I hadn't even sat down. She glanced at my outfit and said, "What's with your skirt?" I was confused. Anyway, something in me snapped. Not emotionally, but decisively. I took off my ID badge, I placed it on the desk and said, "I'm out." And I left. I walked out. No dramatic speeches, no argument, no seeking justice, just clarity. And let me tell you what shocked me even more. I didn't go home to cry. I didn't replay the conversation. Well, maybe once. I didn't ask anybody if I'd made the right choice. I opened my laptop and I started applying for jobs. I must have applied to 200 jobs that day alone. And after about 2 weeks, a bank offered me £150 daily rate. Because don't forget, I was like 22, 23 years old. It was 6 times what this agency had paid me. I never went back there for my final payslip. Why would I? I ignored every email from them. Why? Because I realized something. My manager, she was a rock. She wasn't a villain. She wasn't a mastermind. She wasn't even important. She was an obstacle on a path that I was never meant to stay on. When you meet a rock on the road, you don't argue with it. You don't negotiate with it. You don't try to convince a rock to move. You walk around the rock. And that's the rock philosophy. She wasn't special. She was positioned in my path. And positions can be changed. Part 2. What is the rock philosophy? The rock philosophy is the purest form of emotional self-discipline. Difficult people are rocks. Neutral obstacles, not moral threats, not emotional emergencies, just bloody rocks. They have no power unless you kneel down to inspect them. When you meet a rock in the road, you have 3 choices. Option 1. Stand in front of the rock and complain. Most people do this. They talk about the person for days, weeks, months. They journal about them. They rant to their friends. They create whole dramas about a pebble, but complaining doesn't move rocks. Option 2, try to move the rock. This is the biggest trap, trying to change a difficult person, trying to make them see your value, trying to make them behave better. But you can't drag a boulder with your bare hands, and you can't reform somebody who benefits from being difficult. Option 3, walk around the rock. This is the only efficient choice. Yes, you acknowledge it, you conserve your energy, you take a different path, and you keep moving. Now, the Stoics weren't passive, they were strategic. Epictetus, a man born enslaved, became one of the most powerful philosophical voices in history. He taught one core principle: control the mind and release everything else. And here's the key: difficult people only have authority if you assign it to them. With every minute you spend reacting to a difficult person, you're not building your business, your wealth, or your future. Walking around the rock is not avoidance, it's strategy. It's efficiency, it's emotional intelligence at scale. If this has resonated with you, please give this video a big thumbs up. I post videos every Thursday, real entrepreneurship, and I also have a free guide in the description. It's 50 product ideas you can start selling today with no money. Let's continue. Part 3, the best friend betrayal. Now, let me tell you about one of the heaviest rocks I ever encountered. I had a best friend for around 7 years, chosen family. I threw her a surprise 30th birthday party. I paid her gym membership when she struggled. I even used to give her one of my bank cards whenever I went out to get out other friends, so it could appear as if, you know, she was paying her bills and I didn't have to pick her bills up. I genuinely loved this girl, and then she betrayed me. She brought a fake business deal to my table. She took kickbacks from a web developer that she introduced to me, who scammed me. She scammed my friends through commission artwork where the artist never got fully paid because the artwork arrived, it was half-baked, there was no signature. I lost a few good pounds. My other friends lost money too. I never confronted her about any of this till today. I took it on the chin, but the moment everything crystallized was so small. I mean, like laughably small. She left her laptop charger at her house when she visited me, so I Amazoned the charger for her. No questions asked. And when she was leaving, I was like, since you already have a charger at home, you can just leave this one here for next time. She refused, and I said, well, you can just pay me the £30 back then, because then you're going to have 2 chargers now. And the look on her face, she was genuinely shocked. That was the moment I understood I hadn't been generous. I'd been enabling entitlement. And she no longer saw my help as kindness. She saw it as her right. So I cut her off. No arguments, no explanation, no emotional marathon, just a quiet removal. And here's the truth, she was a rock too. A big one, a heavy one, but still a rock. I could have spent years trying to expose her, correct her, warn other people about her, but none of that would have refunded my money or rebuilt the trust. Walking around her was the only move. Heavy rocks feel important, but heavy doesn't mean powerful. Heavy just means heavier to carry, so you still put them down. And today, I'm thriving financially, emotionally, and spiritually. And she? Still where she was 5 years ago. Not because I won, but because I kept walking. Part 4. How to apply the rock philosophy. Step 1. Identify the rock. Ask yourself, is this person actually stopping me from progressing, or are they just irritated? Most difficult people are simply irritants. Irritants don't deserve emotional resources. Real obstacles require strategic decisions. Differentiate the two. Step 2. Stop trying to change the rock. You cannot change difficult people. I repeat, you cannot change difficult people. You cannot teach somebody how to treat you well. You cannot explain your value into someone else's mind. You cannot force integrity into someone who gains from chaos. Reform is not your responsibility, my friend. Step 3. Walk around the rock. This is the discipline. Walking around the rock means find the next job, change the environment, cut the friendship, fire the partner, exit the room. Not dramatically, not emotionally, but strategically, because the rock is neutral. It doesn't care, so save your energy. Part 5. Benefits of living this way. Once I applied the rock philosophy consistently, everything changed. Everything shifted. My peace increased, my productivity skyrocketed, my emotional breakage disappeared. I had more energy for my business, for my health, for my investments. Difficult people used to drain me. Oh my God. Now they barely register, because once you see someone as a rock, the illusion of their power dissolves. And when you stop engaging in emotional battles that you can't win, you become unstoppable. So to recap, difficult people are rocks, neutral, predictable, immovable. Your job is not to confront them. No. Your job is not to convert them. No. Your job is to walk around them. Step 1. Identify the rock. Step 2. Stop trying to change the rock. Step 3. Walk around the rock. And if you're sitting there thinking, this is great for dealing with difficult people, but I'm still stuck trying to get my business off the ground, then you need to watch my video on the 3 killer mistakes that kill new businesses today. Because while difficult people can drain your energy, there are 3 bigger mistakes that can actually kill your business before it even gets a chance to breathe. I break down exactly what they are and how you can avoid them. The link is here. and in the description. And next week, I'm going to talk about something controversial. Why I only sell products that people use every day. They're boring products, but they're building me wealth. If you want to know why boring products beat sexy products every single time, make sure you're subscribed. Hit the bell notification so that you don't miss the coming video. That video drops next Thursday. Wait, before you go, grab my free blueprint on 50 product ideas you can start selling today with zero money. It's also in the description. This rock didn't move today, but I still got past it. And that's the whole lesson. Stay focused, stay building. I'll see you next Thursday. Thank you for watching.